Before we get into today's video, we want to thank you for watching Peak Curiosity. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified for all your new uploads and to support the work we're doing on the channel to provide you with the entertainment for trillions of light years to come.
Unlike most babies, who can't support their own heads until they reach 2 to 4 months of age, Boris Kiprianovich was able to hold his head up on his own when he was just 2 weeks old. While small, this phenomenon marked the beginning of a cascade of remarkable talents that would continue to appear as the boy grew older. From the moment they saw their 2-week-old infant holding up his own head, looking around at the world with interest, Boris's parents knew they had someone truly special on their hands. Boris was born in the year 1996. He's a native of Russia and, unlike the vast majority of humans, began to speak just weeks after his birth. When he was 18 months old, he already knew how to read and draw. With these remarkable skills, Boris was allowed to start kindergarten at just 2 years of age. In class, he amazed his teachers with his advanced skills and rapid progress in learning. His ability to read and draw at an early age placed him well ahead of his peers. One of the strange things about Boris was that he had an in-depth understanding of the workings of the universe. What was most surprising about this universal knowledge bank was that the kid never actually had been taught anything about space or physics. With no formal education on the matter, he still somehow knew about the stars, planets, constellations, and more. Experts touted Boris as a child genius because of his extraordinary knowledge of the universe. Being a child prodigy is already a spectacular achievement, but when Boris turned 7, he made a claim that would stun his parents and eventually send shockwaves through the scientific community. When Boris was 7, he spent a weekend on a camping trip with his parents and some family friends. This happy outing turned into a jaw-dropping event that defied all their rather ordinary expectations. Boris, you see, had a story to share with his camping companions. Dressed in a t-shirt and baseball cap, styled like a typical kid his age, Boris asked his adult companions to close their mouths and keep their ears open. He had an important tale to tell them. What unfolded was far from the normal campfire stories we generally share with one another. Adults being adults, the family ignored Boris after his first request for everyone to be quiet. Eventually, the boy's insistence drew everyone's reluctant attention and the campsite grew quiet. People were finally ready to hear what he had to share with them. Having finally won the attention of the adults at the campsite, Boris told them what was on his mind. Much to everyone's surprise, instead of your ordinary run-of-the-mill campfire horror story, Boris dropped the revelation that he had come from Mars and that he was here to save the world. Everyone at the campfire was surprised to hear Boris make such claims. He specifically mentioned that he was a resident of Mars during his previous life. His outlandish claims eventually spread beyond his family and their campsite and, in time, earned the skepticism and derision of experts from all over the world. Boris also said that while he was from Mars in another life, he has now been reborn on Earth, making him just as much human as other people. And Boris, as it turns out, is not alone. Collectively, these extraterrestrials reborn on Earth call themselves the Indigo Children. While the claims made by Boris and his Indigo brethren seem silly at first glance, many have come to believe that they are telling the truth. However ridiculous Boris's claims may appear, we must remember that he had very extensive knowledge regarding what lies beyond Earth. Knowledge that mystified even the experts when he was a child. His unprecedented familiarity with the universe at such a young age and without formal education is truly a perplexing phenomenon. During his teenage years, Boris confirmed and reaffirmed what he had shared with the adults during their camping trip. Gracing Russian TV in an interview, Boris once again shared what he had told the companions around the campfire that night. From there, the story only grows more fascinating. According to Boris's account of his life on Mars, the residents of the planet stop aging when they reach 35. He said that this halt in aging process is mainly due to their breathing in carbon dioxide, as opposed to humans breathing in oxygen. Boris also said that residents on Mars are tall. They are said to have quite advanced technology, allowing them to travel via interstellar portals. Boris reminisces with fondness while sharing these details about life on Mars and the nature of its residents. Boris was all too happy to share his recollections of his past life he claims to have had on Mars. He said he remembers a time when he was just 14 or 15 years old, an adolescent living on Mars during a time when the Martians were waging war on one another. Boris said he recalls taking part in air raids as part of the wars his Martian brethren instigated on the planet. He's also able to recount details of the friends who fought alongside him during these raids. During his life on Mars, Boris claims he and his kind were able to travel through time and fly around space by riding in disc-shaped spaceships. He also shared that he and his fellow Martians would observe their neighboring planet Earth and the life that thrived on it, from triangular aircrafts more suitable for shorter trips within the galaxy. Boris said that Martian-built spaceships were mind-bending in their complexity. The ships were comprised of many fine layers that were capable of flying all throughout the universe. While the technology of the Martians was remarkably advanced, Boris said it also led to their demise. The advanced technology Boris and his Martian pals supposedly had at their elongated fingertips allowed them to travel through the universe, and even through time. However, it was also this very technology that led them to eradicate their own race in a nuclear conflict that not even the brightest Martian minds could prevent. Reiterating what he said when he was 7 years old, sharing his account of events in a group of campers, Boris explained that nuclear warfare many years ago on Mars was what led to their ultimate destruction. This story was not told without reason. It was delivered as a warning to the adults of Earth. According to Boris, those Martians who survived the catastrophic events and post-nuclear fallout were concerned about the attitudes they were witnessing on their neighboring planet, Earth. Present-day earthly development reflects, according to Boris, that of Mars right before its downfall. This correlation in our paths has led Martian survivors to believe that a similar fate surely awaits our planet. With the shadow of nuclear war looming, and we Earthlings none the wiser, Boris came to the planet to issue us a warning before the event horizon is past and it's simply too late. In Boris's view, the Earth has become a world full of leaders hungry for power and dictators who are always on the lookout for an excuse to pull the trigger. Seeing this, the young man believes that our planet is on a doomed trajectory, just like the now desolate homeland of his previous life's youth. While it seems that impending doom is upon us, Boris does offer a beacon of hope, following up his gloomy proclamations with a promise that he has some good news for us humans. The Russian lad said that while the possibility of Mars and Earth sharing a similar fate is strong, we still have the time to alter the flow of events and save ourselves. Here's where it gets a little kooky. Okay, a little more kooky. Boris claims that to evade the dark nuclear future that's looming over humanity, we need to open up the Great Sphinx of Giza, a monument whose name in Arabic translates to the Father of Dread, or the Terrifying One. According to Boris, life as we know it will drastically change if only we can figure out how to open it and unleash its secrets. Boris isn't leaving the whole Sphinx thing in a state of cryptic confusion. He claims to know the whereabouts of its opening mechanism, saying that it can be found just behind the ear. While he's confident the monument can be opened from here, the boy admits that he's not sure exactly how to get the thing open. Apart from the Sphinx, Boris has also proclaimed that the pyramids of Giza contain secrets that go far beyond our wildest imaginings. Whether you buy into this Russian Martian's crazy tales or not, it's hard for this not to reignite your curiosity as to what exactly is inside the pyramids. Could there be some ancient knowledge or alien technology that can solve all our modern crises? While Boris sticks to his claims with steadfast resolution, having heard them now, you can probably sympathize with those who are convinced his proclamations are nothing more than the random ramblings of a kid who reads too much science fiction. In the year 2017, more than a decade after Boris first shared his story around the campfire, experts started digging around the Great Pyramid of Giza using proprietary technology to search for a way in that had never been before possible. While disbelief has perpetually orbited Boris's claims around the pyramids, these experts made a startling discovery that lends a surprising amount of credibility to the boy's insistence that something important lies hidden inside the structure. The scientists searched the pyramids with the help of cosmic ray imaging and were stunned with what the new technology revealed to them. A 100-foot-long void was found in the heart of the pyramid. The snake-like void was located just above the Grand Gallery in the middle of the pyramid. While it was a new discovery, no one could really tell whether there was anything in there or what the purpose of the vent was. One thing is for sure, the ancient civilization responsible for constructing these marvels didn't create anything without a reason. So there are answers. The question is, are we capable of uncovering them? Scientists have yet to explain what could possibly be waiting for them inside the massive void in the middle of the pyramid. Boris, too, has yet to offer his take on what could be inside the pyramid-dwelling hole. Speculation regarding the void, its origin, and its purpose is plentiful. One of the more popular theories is that it might have once held a spaceship from the planet Mars that would have been capable of interstellar travel in the universe. Over the years, as Boris grew up, he appeared more and more regularly in interviews where he shared his story with an increasingly fascinated audience. People are heavily divided when it comes to their opinions on his claims, some believing him without a doubt, others regarding his story with intense skepticism. Regardless of whether you believe in the kid or not, his story about Mars is certainly intriguing. And his warnings about our possible nuclear future are worthy of a platform. At this stage, we don't yet have the resources to confirm nor deny his claim. However, if Elon Musk has anything to do with it, someday we will indeed make it to Mars and see for ourselves. As a matter of fact, Musk may have a young contender already capable of beating him to Mars. Listen on to discover just who this mystery girl is. At first glance, you'd think Alyssa Carson, a 17-year-old girl from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, is just like any other normal teenager. A happy kid who enjoys hanging out with her friends, going to school, and doing all the typical extracurriculars of a girl her age. Of course, while Alyssa definitely is a regular kid in many respects, enjoying soccer practice with friends, coffee shop hangouts, and chess battles with her dad, she's also way more than your average teenager. It's generally agreed upon by everyone that you've got your whole life ahead of you at the age of 17. While many kids don't have their lives planned out at this stage, Alyssa has already set her sights on what she wants to do in college and beyond. At a time when most of her peers are busy filling out their college applications, with most still undecided on what they want to do when they grow up, Alyssa has already determined where she wants to apply. If successful, her ambitions will change not just her life, but yours too. Alyssa wants to change the very fabric of society, the way we see the Earth and our place upon it. When she turns 18 in the year 2019, she has already laid out plans to apply for NASA's astronaut training program. This hardcore program is known not just for being difficult to gain a spot in, but also for being intensive and rigorous. Her dream of joining it isn't just wrapped in visiting the moon or studying on the International Space Station. Alyssa's ambitions go much further than that. While most kids dream, at least once in their childhood, of following in Neil Armstrong's footsteps and leaping across the surface of the moon, Alyssa's ambitions will take her a few more light minutes away to our neighboring planet, Mars. If everything goes according to plan, Alyssa hopes to be the Neil Armstrong of Mars, aka the first human to step foot on its soil. Her dedication to this goal is truly a marvel, especially considering the amount of work it's already driven her to do. Childhood is a time of curiosity and wonder. It's when kids imagine themselves doing and being a whole cavalcade of different things. Like most kids who dream of going to space and exploring the great unknown, Alyssa's interest began early, when she was just 3 years old. Little Alyssa's space love blossomed after watching an episode of the cartoon show Backyardigans. The episode featured a crew of cute barnyard animals who went to the planet Mars for a little trip. After watching the show, Alyssa went to talk to her father Bert, whom she hoped could satiate her curiosity. Alyssa approached her father after, curious about the red planet the cartoon creatures had explored. Specifically, she wondered if humans had ever been there. Brimming over with questions, she tugged at her father's shirt sleeve. Bert explained that while there had indeed been a man on the moon, there had been no successful attempts to place a human on Mars. Bert added that he thought Alyssa would come of age just at the right time to be part of the very first Mars generation. Childlike curiosity is a wondrous thing. From that moment on, Alyssa recalls being inescapably enamored with the planet. She recalls watching videos of rovers landing on Mars as she grew up, and her fascination with Mars only grew over time. Apart from watching as many videos on Mars as she could get her hands on, Alyssa also scored a huge map of the planet for her room. There, she would spend hours gazing at it, her imagination running wild as her eyes were gripped in a trance. Her parents, more than happy to feed her curiosity, got her a set of telescopes so that she could gaze out into space. When Alyssa was just 7 years of age, she had a breakthrough in her career. Her dad took her to Huntsville, Alabama to take part in the NASA space camp. It was a key moment in her development, one filled with discoveries that would eventually lead her down the path to where she is today. The NASA space camp trip turned out to be the best weekend of Alyssa's life. She recalls the camp fondly, sharing that she has been able to learn everything she had wanted to know about before, plus so much more. She saw a life-sized rocket and, with all her old questions answered, returned home with a whole host of fresh ones to explore. While Alyssa learned a lot during her first space camp, it turned out that one trip wasn't enough. Over the following years, she returned for every space camp NASA put on, a total of 18 times in all, to be exact. When she reached the age of 12, Alyssa became the first person in history to attend all of the space camps offered by NASA, despite the fact that they were located in different parts of the world. This included Alabama, Quebec, Canada, and Izmir, Turkey. For all the space camps she attended, Alyssa was just getting started on her journey towards becoming an astronaut. She joined any activity related to space, eager to engage in anything that could teach her more about her passion. Alyssa's father proudly shared the fact that his kid is also the youngest person to ever graduate from the Advanced Space Academy. As a matter of fact, Alyssa got her rocket license even before she got her driver's permit. Once a child full of wonder for space, Alyssa is now a teenager who has come an incredibly long way in terms of the knowledge and training she has acquired. This highly motivated youngster joins simulated space missions on a regular basis, as well as training for physical preparedness. The dedication she has for reaching this lofty goal is truly admirable. If you weren't impressed enough already, it turns out that apart from joining space mission simulations and readying herself physically, Alyssa also builds rockets and robots. Oh, and she speaks 4 languages. Alyssa's drive has kept her always moving forward in pursuit of her goal. She has worked hard to achieve the milestones she has under her belt now and has already accomplished things many of us will never come close to. She admits, however, that heading back to high school after the things she's done can be a bit boring. Aside from building her skills to become a competent astronaut someday, she's also in the process of earning certificates in diving as an additional qualification for her resume. Considering all of her efforts towards going to Mars, the question is, how close are humans to even reaching the planet? The good news is, Alyssa's dream may become a reality much sooner than you might expect. Going to Mars, once considered next to impossible, is now on the verge of being a reality, thanks to the tireless efforts of scientists and astronauts. Adding his weight to the issue, on 21st of March of 2017, the President of the United States set out a mission for NASA. Trump's mission for the space agency was simple: get human beings on the planet Mars by the year 2033. NASA, in an effort to make this happen as soon as possible, released their 5-phase plan a week after Trump gave them the directive. The first 3 components of NASA's 5-phase plan to create a human outpost on Mars involve rocket testing. This process is already underway in tandem with research into the intricacies of living on another planet and the finer points of deep space transportation. The 5-phase plan requires extensive, ongoing research to be able to successfully send humans to Mars. While they aren't exactly close, NASA is hopeful that they will be all set to send humans on a 9-month trip to the Red Planet by 2033. Alyssa, who will be 32 years old by then, will be doing everything it takes to ensure she's on board. Along with the training and the qualifications Alyssa has already amassed on her personal Mars mission, has come a sobering realization. She's well aware that her desire will necessitate some pretty big sacrifices along the way. While the Mars mission is still a mirage shimmering in the distant future, there are things she must sacrifice in her life today in order to reach it and achieve her goals. For one thing, NASA suggests building a family is more of a consideration for after the Mars mission, as the astronauts will be stepping into unexplored and unsafe territory. No mission comes without risks. However, our first attempt on Mars will be an especially dangerous one, given that no other humans have been able to set foot on the planet before. Any person joining the team must be in it 100%, without any distractions, romance included. Simply put, romance is a distraction, one that could negatively affect both the mission and the loved ones stuck at home, and given the circumstances, Alyssa would then have to put off any romance for the next 15 years if she wants to keep her eyes on the prize. There's always a price for a prize, and Alyssa's situation is no different. Apart from romantic relationships, there are also other connections that may be affected by Alyssa's plans to join the mission on Mars. Camille Taylor, Alyssa's best friend, feels sad whenever she hears Alyssa talking about going to space one day. She realizes that Alyssa will be leaving her someday, and thinking of it never fails to leave her in a melancholic mood. Alyssa's father, though he supports his kid, admits he shares Camille's sentiments. Bert, Alyssa's father, also feels sadness in acknowledging the possibility of Alyssa going to space someday. He knows all too well that space travel is at best difficult and at worst downright deadly. While he will always give her his support, it's hard to reconcile himself with allowing his daughter to risk so much in pursuit of her dreams. According to a 2018 interview with Chris Hadfield, the former commander of the ISS International Space Station, the majority of astronauts who embark on the Mars mission are unlikely to make it back to Earth. Joining a mission that will delve out into the universe understandably comes with a whole lot of risks. These risks are not only related to physical safety, but emotional wellness and indeed, sanity too. This is why rigorous training and strict qualifications are required for all astronauts. This work is essential in equipping them for survival. One of the risks in going to outer space arises from the cramped confines of the vessels. These can cause a person to go crazy. Apart from this, there's also the possibility of developing cancer due to radiation, and then the ever-present possibility of the rocket blowing up once it has been cleared to launch. While the risks mentioned earlier are cause for concern on their own, Alyssa's father has yet another set of reservations about his daughter leaving for space. According to NASA's plans, if the team on the mission succeeds in going to the planet, they will have to spend 3 years there. NASA's plan is to have a team of astronauts stay on Mars to perform a variety of experiments, one of the most important of which will be food cultivation. This work is essential in helping NASA establish whether or not the planet is viable for human colonization. For Bert, this time spent apart from Alyssa will be an endless, slow-moving heartache, as each day won't be just a day spent apart, but will also be a day where he knows his daughter is in danger. He explained that no matter what he does, he can't help seeing things from the point of view of a father. Fighting back tears, he said he's slowly resigning himself to the fact that when the time comes, he will need to bid farewell to his daughter, with it in mind that he may never see her again. Knowing that he may only have her around for a handful of years makes it difficult for him. Yet, he recognizes that it's what Alyssa wants and that he has to support her and her mission. So no matter what, he does his best to muster enthusiasm. Humans have collectively been wondering for decades whether life on Mars is possible. Past missions on the planet with rovers have already revealed the existence of water. The next logical step, it seems, would be to establish whether or not human life can flourish there too. Alyssa believes that any advanced species attempting to thrive on just a single planet will soon become extinct. By going on a mission to Mars, she plans to give people a new sense of hope, fitting the rest of us with a belief that we can move on from our current planet to another, thus lessening the burden we're placing on Earth, returning balance, and allowing all life to thrive. Space missions will always bear an element of danger, but without people willing to take the risk, we will never gain knowledge about what lies beyond our planet. The precious information we gain from any missions to Mars will be invaluable in helping us prepare the best path forward for ourselves and future generations. Alyssa acknowledges that anyone joining the Mars missions will likely be faced with all the imagined risks and a whole host of new ones no Earthbound human could possibly dream of. However, she also believes that the rewards will be well worth the danger. Her father reluctantly agrees, saying that the mission for humanity's future is far greater than the two of them. With so much at stake, NASA would naturally want the best of the best to join the mission to the Red Planet. While it's still a distant objective, that doesn't mean that hopefuls like Alyssa can be complacent. On the contrary, all that time is best put to use getting prepared as early as possible. This is why Alyssa is so relentless in her physical training and study. Not a moment can be lost in the long-distance race to achieve her goal of joining the Mars mission. With the President's directive and NASA's 5-phase plan, Alyssa's motivation has only grown stronger. The Mars mission is now in sight on the horizon, and it's only a matter of time and dedication before she reaches it. Alyssa really doesn't mess around when it comes to reaching her goals. From one impressive feat to another, she has rallied from every failure and boosted forward for every success. This attitude has seen her absorb about as much training as a kid her age could possibly manage. All of it is essential to her dream of going to Mars. In the year 2015, Alyssa achieved yet another impressive feat, getting accepted into the Possum Academy. This is a program that prepares people for flight into space, and Alyssa is the youngest person in history to be admitted. We already know that Alyssa is an astonishingly driven person who works hard to get what she wants. While the trip to Mars will be fraught with dangers, Alyssa already has plans for when she gets back from the space mission. One of her dreams is to be a teacher, and in fact, she's already gotten started on this project, with Mars and teaching in her rearview mirror. Alyssa's next goal is to become a president of the United States. Talk about shooting for the moon! Here's hoping this ambitious kid lands among the stars. Given the massive strides she's made towards her goal thus far, it's highly likely that Alyssa Carson will rank among those humans who are first to set foot on Mars. When asked for the secret behind her success, Alyssa said that it's something she has focused her time and effort on to the exclusion of almost anything else. She also said that she doesn't think that there's a specific thing she did that made it easier for her. Indeed, she is certain that everything she achieved at such a young age could be accomplished by others too. One thing's for sure, if she manages to make it to Mars, humanity's future will be in very capable hands.